Cheers, guys. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, I was confident. I think it was one of those when you kind of get that goal, the last kind of 10, 15 minutes, you're thinking that you're going to be able to go on and win the game, but it obviously didn't turn out like that. And yeah, I was disappointed. I just think maybe if you go back to the start of the season, Liverpool probably rode their luck and they were able to get away with some of the results that the performances maybe didn't deserve. But I think right now we're seeing the opposite of that, and it's going the other way, and that's why we're obviously...
Yesterday, Jay, for me, didn't show that they should win the game. They didn't do enough to win the game. It's all about luck and the ball not going in. Either side of the post hit it 3 times. But I think when they come back to 1-1, if you had the tendency we're going to go on to win the game, there's still 20 minutes in the game. You can't go gun-ho. So going on to win the game is one thing, but you're certainly not setting up to lose the game.
Yeah, but I think the thing is, like, we obviously went to the 4-2-4 when we were trying to obviously score, and I think that kind of set the initiative that we wanted to go on and try and win the game. We obviously got the goal, but I think we're seeing the kind of same issues that we've seen for majority of the season. Like, we're very just frayed at the back. I think Mbuemo came out and actually said that they were targeting our fullbacks, which seems to be an issue, even though we obviously brought in 2 new ones in the summer. And I think that's the problem. We're just not kind of figuring out exactly what we need to do to get it over the line. And listen, I think United, obviously, I know you were saying there before that United deserved to win the game, but I think it could have ended 4-4. That was just the way the game was going. I think it could have ended either way. But I think if Liverpool were playing United at the start of the season, they might have won that because the luck was on their side. It's just not on their side right now.
Do you think you can still win the title?
Yeah, 100%. I think, listen, Man City, obviously with Haaland, they 100% have a chance. I still think defensively they're a little bit weak, but so are Liverpool right now. I think Arsenal, defensively, they're probably the best team in the world defensively, but there's still some issues there that they're still trying to figure out, and can they get it over the line with Arteta? But I still back my team. It's just about if we can find the solutions before the other teams obviously pick up more points, because I think that's the problem. You don't want the gap to be too big right now.
But Jamie, you say about the Man City and they have Haaland, so they're always in contention for that, and he's the goal getter, he's their main player. But Mo Salah, for me at the moment, looks a shadow of himself, of what he's done in previous years. Yesterday, like missing a golden chance, the ball not sticking for him, making them chances for himself and others. It's just not falling for him at the moment. Now, for me, I think it's almost time to take him out. And that's not because of any reason, it's just his performances. It's not, take him out of the limelight. So it's Mo Salah, he's always going to be in the limelight. But at the moment, his performances are actually not deserving a starting place, other than going off previous games and previous seasons. Because this year he hasn't hit the heights of what he has done.
Yeah, no, it's so difficult because you're talking about a player that he always delivers in like the big moments, and you think about like he's the most goals in this fixture against Man United. He's the most goals in that fixture, and you think about all the great players that have played. But yesterday, those chances that came to him, if that was last season, he takes them. And I think the issue is with Salah is if you're not getting the goals and the assists, which we've seen maybe last season, the performances aren't there. And I think that's what we're seeing right now. The performances aren't there, and we're not getting the decisive moments. So I think Slot has a decision to make. I think it's up to him what he wants to do. I don't think we'll maybe see him against Frankfurt. We could see him play against Brentford next week, but I think he won't start both of those games. I think you do need to take him out. And I think with Liverpool right now, they obviously have the likes of, you've seen Ekitike, he came off the bench yesterday. He looked brilliant when he came on. Isak, I think he missed a big chance. I think he should be finishing that. I think that's why we bring him in. And I think Gakpo was brilliant as well. So Liverpool have options there. And if Salah's not firing, then you need to obviously set a marker to say that you need to be able to be performant to be in this team. Otherwise, you're not going to start.
So if you said that Salah might not start these next 2 games, who do you put on the right?
So I think you could play. That's a difficult one because a lot of our players are off the left, I would say. I think maybe Ekitike and Isak up front, and then you could have maybe Gakpo on the left. You could play Ekitike off the right. Chiesa looked good when he came on as well. And just giving some other players maybe a run out and saying to Salah, like, Liverpool needed a goal yesterday after Man United score, and Salah came off.
So did Isak.
Isak. So did Isak, yeah. But I think Slot was making the point to Salah that like you're not undroppable. And I think that's something that I think Salah is going to have to get used to until he starts performing again.
And I think, Jamie, also Hugo Ekitike, for what he's done at the start of the season, the performances he's been doing for France, and when he come on yesterday, he should be starting. Now, I get it, Isak is the main guy, 125 million, and even your face says that, but look at what else can he do to get in the team? He made a silly mistake that we all criticised, Liverpool fans, people in the media, for what he did against for his celebration after Southampton. But everything he's done other than that, he should be starting. And the reason he's not is because the main guys they brought in, Alexander Isak for 125 million. But Hugo Ekitike is like, we paid big money for me, and I'm doing everything asked of me, but I still can't get in.
Yeah, I think it's kind of unfair in football the way things have gone. I think Slot has obviously made the decision that he wants to get Isak up and running. I think with Ekitike, all he can do is continue when he gets the opportunity is to obviously put in performances. But I think with the form that he's shown from the start of the season and to when he's come off the bench, I think, I agree with you. He should be starting.
Has Isak
right now.
showed you enough to start, Jamie?
I think he's getting there. I was a bit disappointed that he didn't take that chance.
Not getting there.
I think he... But yeah, well, like, listen, I would still have Isak in the team. I think you could play both of them. And if that means that Salah comes out because obviously Ekitike is obviously playing, he's in better form, then I think that's what we should do. I think Gakpo yesterday looked brilliant. He could have had one or two more goals. He obviously missed a header. He hit the post a couple of times as well. So I think he has to stay in the team. So yeah, I think Salah right now, if you're looking at it, Salah's the one that does come out.
We're talking there about your attack, but how worried are you about your defence?
How long have you got? I think the fullbacks are a big issue, and I think that's something that I think Chelsea said. I think Cucurella said it in the post-match, and now Mbuemo said it. So the fact that if you're actually talking about it, we're actually missing Trent more than anything else, I think, right now. And we look more vulnerable now that Trent is gone than we ever did when he was playing. And I think that's a worrying part because we've completely lost his creativity. So, yeah, I think like Konate looked really good yesterday, but he hasn't had the best start of the season. Van Dijk was really poor yesterday. I thought Man United did really well to obviously to find an area that's obviously a problem for us. Left back and left centre back in that kind of pocket is a big problem. I think Kirkez is someone that I would take out of the team right now. I think Robertson is a lot more suited to playing as a more defensive left back, and Kirkez is obviously really good going forward, but we're not using him in that way right now. So I think maybe taking him out and putting in someone with a little bit more of experience, that might help the situation a little bit more. Obviously, Robertson and Van Dijk have played a huge amount of games together, so I think that might help it a little bit. But yeah, it's just defensively, I just think if we figure that out, we're still going to score loads of goals.
But this is something
we just need to figure out defensively.
Joe, this is something that's happened since the first game of the season at Bournemouth at home. Anton Semenyo was brilliant throughout the game. It's terrorised Kirkez in that position in the wide area, and that's been a knock-on effect all the way through. People are highlighting it, the full-back areas. And for me, we see it for many times, people signing for Manchester United, the weight of the shirt. Well, at the moment, we're seeing that with Kirkez at Liverpool, because you could play poorly at a team like Bournemouth for 4 or 5 games and it don't really get highlighted as much. But when you're playing for the top clubs, you've got to be on form all the time.
Yeah, 100%. But I think that's when you're taking that next step. You need to take on that responsibility. And I think some of the players right now are maybe feeling it a little bit heavier than others. Like you said, if you have a bad game for Bournemouth, 4 or 5 bad games, it doesn't get highlighted as much. But when you play for a club like Liverpool, the pressure is on to win every single week. United, Maguire said the same thing after. They'll obviously enjoy the win this week, but then if they go and lose to Brighton next week, the pressure is straight back on them. That's what happens when you play for a big club. And you want these players to be able to stand up and take that on their shoulders and obviously perform, but we're not seeing that right now from some of them.
I know you've got that game on Wednesday in the Champions League away at Eintracht Frankfurt, but how big is Brentford away next Saturday? Yeah,
it's huge. Like four losses in a row in the Premier League, it would be crazy. And I know there's been a little discourse about people talking about Slot potentially losing his job. I don't stand to that sentiment. I think he's worked wonders with this squad and been able to get them over the line last season. But
there's no way anyone thinks that. Surely that's talk on X. Yeah, surely that's not real. Some of the sentiment is what I've seen, and like I've been talking about it earlier on another podcast and saying that like if people are talking about this, then the narrative will continue to move forward if we continue to lose games. But I don't agree with it. But next week against Brentford, like it's a must-win game. There's no doubt about it. not having that, Charlie, but
no,
Slot being in trouble, he's not, is he?
No, he's not in trouble, of course he's not, and that's football, isn't it? People go off on a whim and just go with anything. But it is so important, and I get it. We talk about 4 Premier League losses in a row if they don't get a win at Brentford next week. But however, you can't dismiss how important Wednesday night is also. That's got to be a win. Nothing but a win.
Yeah.
To build the confidence, get back on that track, and then go to Brentford. That is a tough place to go. Regardless what you think, wherever, if you're on 3 losses on the spin in the Premier League, it's a tough place to go. They have to go to Brentford and win the game of football. But it's about fitting the right pieces in to a jigsaw puzzle now. And being the manager that he is at a top club, you've got to make tough decisions because you've got top players in that dressing room. And if that arguably is to take Mohamed Salah for me out of the team, then you've got to be the man to do it.
Just
100% agree.
With that Salah coming out, just a final one here, Jamie, because we need to get the Manchester United side of this, of course, which we'll do after the break. If Mo Salah comes out, is there anything stopping Slot from changing the formation? So you get Isak and Ekitike up there together, maybe by going 3 at the back, so 3-5-2.
Yeah.
Or even, dare I say it, the old 4-4-2.
The old 4-4-2. Yeah, like I don't think Slot has shied away from changing formation. I know he obviously went a little bit gung-ho yesterday with the 4-2-4, but he's done it in different games where he's maybe had to adapt a little bit. And I wouldn't be surprised if he wanted to fit Ekitike and Isak in together as a 2 and potentially take Salah out to give him a rest. Like Salah is going to be at AFCON as well in December, so that is something that we're going to have to obviously manage when the time comes. But yeah, I don't think changing formation would be a bad thing. I think we criticise maybe some managers, and a manager that won it yesterday criticised his formation for sticking to it a lot of time. But I think being flexible and being adaptable is part of being a good manager. And I don't think change of formation would be the worst thing if it means fitting in all your best players.
We have actually got a voice note that's just come in from a Liverpool fan called Chris. Let's listen to this.
Good morning, Tom. Good morning, Charlie. I think Liverpool's title hopes are as good as over after 4 defeats. There's an inconsistency. They're not playing well. They're giving goals away. And Arne Slot needs to get this sorted quickly.
Yeah, I think you'll agree that it needs to get it sorted quickly. But you disagree. You think that the title race is still very much on.
Oh yeah, 100%. 4 points. Like there's a long way to go. Arsenal. Like listen, I think they're a brilliant team, and I think they will obviously push Liverpool close. But Liverpool are a brilliant team as well, and they've shown last season that they can obviously get results. Like they beat Real Madrid, Man City. They have big results in them, but it's just they're trying to figure some things out with a lot of new players. So,
but Jamie, just put in there real quickly. This time last year, they'd only conceded 3 goals. That's the biggest alarming. Yeah. That's the biggest alarming thing.
I know, yeah, but like this part of football that is obviously it's an ever-evolving team. You know what I mean? This is a new team, new players.
We can't Liverpool have had all the plaudits, and rightly so, because they've been brilliant last year. They was. But let's not hide behind that. Like we've got to say it where it is at the moment. They are underperforming massively to where they once were. And just because we got great players and good top manager, I mean it's always going to change overnight. You'd like to think it is, but it's going to take almost time for that too. But they haven't got time because they play for Liverpool and they're in all the competitions.
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree with you. I think like when you play for a club like Liverpool, you need to be performing week in, week out. They don't have time to obviously to say like, oh, we can lose like a few more games or we can drop more points. That's not how it works. You need to be performing and picking up points, and that starts with Frankfurt on Wednesday. So I agree in that sense, but it's about picking up points and figuring things out as you go as well. It's about doing both at the same time, which is obviously difficult, but that's the pressure that comes when you play for a club like Liverpool.
Jamie, commiserations on yesterday. Thank you.
Cheers, guys. Have a good one.